The night was still. Leaves barely moved. A dog barked once, then silence returned. Then came the scream. Loud, sharp, like metal tearing. It came from Elder Akpan's compound. People jumped out of sleep. What was that? Is it a thief? No, listen. Another scream. Then another. Then voices shouting things no one understood. Buckets clanged. Bare feet hit the ground. Fire! Fire that doesn't burn. The glow came from inside the compound. Red light danced across the walls. Where is the smoke? There's no smoke. It's fire. No, look well, it's not fire. A man shouted, the ground is shining. A woman cried, there's a shape in the air. She's floating. No, that's just smoke. Smoke doesn't wear a wrapper. Children wailed, mothers screamed, some ran, some stayed and watched. Then, silence. The door creaked open, men rushed in. He was lying face down in the sand, arms spread like a dead bird. One man shook him. Wake up. His eyes blinked, his lips moved. She has returned. Who? The one we buried. He gasped. Alive. Then his body went still. No one spoke, not even the crickets. They saw her next to the broken pot. A little girl, sitting, silent, eyes wide, lips closed. She didn't blink. In her hand, a necklace, black stone, red thread. Someone whispered, whose child is this? She's not from here. She's not from the next village. She's not even from the school. No one knows her. Aya Comfort stepped forward. She bent down, reached out, her fingers sizzled. She pulled back, hissing in pain. This necklace, she whispered, it carries a name. The girl held it tighter. Voices rose. Call the pastor. Pray, sing. Don't sing. Don't look at her eyes. He came with oil and Bible. He opened his mouth. Words tumbled, but not in order. God of, in the beginning, I mean fire. He stammered, then stopped. Women fell on their knees. Some wailed, some whispered. The chief arrived. He looked around. This is not madness, he said. This is memory. Ea Comfort nodded slowly. This is about Amaka. Mouths opened, then closed. No one dared speak the name. The sun began to rise. Roosters crowed, but not loudly. The people gathered. They stood. They watched. No one swept. No one fetched water. The girl was still sitting, still silent, still holding the necklace. Children hid behind wrappers. Men looked at the ground. One boy whispered, is she dead? She's breathing. Then why won't she talk? She's waiting. For what? No one answered. The sky turned gold, but nothing felt new. Only one thing was clear. Something old had returned. Drums had not beaten, but the villagers gathered outside the church. Whispers filled the air like dry leaves in Harmattan wind. Fear is a liar. No ghost can enter this house of God. He lifted his Bible high and stamped his foot. Some shouted amen. Some just watched. Old feet did not move. Eyes stayed on the earth. It's not ghost stories we should fear. It's forgotten truth. No one answered. No one wanted to ask what she meant. A small shadow passed by the crowd. The girl with no name. She walked slowly into the church, sat at his feet, and stared. Why is she looking at me like that? He stepped back. The girl didn't blink. She didn't smile. The whispers returned. That girl. She followed him like a dog chasing shadow. In the forest, the trees made no sound. The air stood still. She bent to gather wood, then saw it, light like a spark, but the sky was blue. She dropped her bundle and walked closer. Half covered by soil and roots was a necklace. Black stone, red thread. She reached out. It burned, then froze. No birds, no footsteps, just that humming. She wrapped it in her scarf and ran. You brought that thing here? The old woman stepped back. It's just a necklace. That forest doesn't forget. She turned her face away and would not speak again. He opened his eyes, just for a moment. She was innocent. We buried her with lies, then silence, and cold. Even the oil lamp flickered. The elders were called. They sat like statues. It's time. Her voice was steady. Amaka was a widow. Her hands healed sores. Her herbs stopped fevers. But sickness still came. Goats died. Children cried. One night, the wind rose. The sky broke open. A snake coiled near the river. They shouted her name. She was dragged, tied, buried under wet sand. No prayers, no truth. That was years ago. The dead can't walk. The past can't chase us. Then why are your dreams no longer clean? He opened his mouth, closed it, walked away. She placed it in his hands. Maybe it chose you. He dropped it into water, laughed. The water turned red. He jumped back. No one laughed. That night, the moon did not shine. He turned left. He turned right. Sleep ran from him. Then, fire. A woman's face burning, melting, speaking. You pray too loud to hear the truth. He screamed and woke. The necklace was on his chest. He could not move, could not speak. Only his eyes blinked. The girl was standing at the door, still silent, still watching. God, so. The words wouldn't come. His lips moved, his tongue danced. But the verse hid from him like a thief in the dark. Whispers filled the church. Is he forgetting scripture? He slammed the Bible shut. Sweat soaked his collar. The Bible slipped from his hand. A feather floated down, then another, then 50. Birds crashed through the open window. Sharp beaks, angry wings. One struck his forehead. Blood touched the Bible. He ran out screaming. That night, Uduak's mother sat up in her sleep. She begged you not to do it, her voice rumbled. Then it softened. I held the shovel. I helped bury Amaka. She wept like a child. Her husband ran from the house. Strange shapes appeared on walls. Swirls, eyes, snakes. At night, they glowed blue. Who is drawing these things? One man shouted, It's that girl! I saw her with chalk! No one believed him until Uduak caught the girl scratching symbols into the sand with her finger. The sand glowed. Pastor Jide stormed into the village square. We cannot be afraid. We must fight. The people nodded, but one old woman shook her head slowly. You don't pray with pride, she said. You pray with fear. He laughed. He didn't laugh long. Uduak saw the girl walk into the forest. She followed. They walked for a long time without speaking. The girl stopped beside a tree. A mirror hung from the branch. Uduak stepped closer. She saw faces. Villagers she knew. Some were dead, one was not. The mirror cracked. She ran. That night, 4 people vanished. Outside their doors, clean shoes, no noise, no blood, no goodbye. We must pray without sleeping, shouted the pastor. 7 nights. The church filled. Chants shook the floor. But when he opened the Bible, every page was white. He opened another. Blank. He threw it to the ground. Keep praying. The next night, the doors opened slowly. A goat walked in. It didn't blink. It didn't stop. Its mouth moved. The ground is crying, and you still kneel like a thief, not a priest, screams. The goat turned to smoke. Pastor Jide dropped to his knees. What are we fighting? Who are we hiding? Silence. Then a whisper from the back. Until truth speaks, prayer will fail. The air turned hot, candles melted. He heard it clearly. Not all sins are forgotten. Someone must speak or the land will burn. He crawled to the altar. He didn't shout this time. He whispered, What must we do? The mirror in the forest shattered. Far away, the necklace glowed red. A cry echoed through the village. It was not a human voice. Something had been awakened, and it would not sleep again without truth. Torch flames danced in the night. If fear buries truth, then let truth dig it up, Pastor Jidi said as they marched toward the forest. Men walked in silence. Women prayed under their breath. Uduak held her mother's hand. The girl followed barefoot. Eyes wide, empty. She didn't blink. She knows this path better than us, Uduak whispered. At the old graveyard, Aya Comfort stopped. I can't step where her blood cried, she said, sitting under the Iroko tree. They reached the spot. The earth looked quiet, but too quiet. Pastor Jide raised his Bible. Let every buried lie rise no more. The wind screamed. The ground split, smoke rose from the crack, hot, moving like breath, then silence. Then she came out, half woman, half serpent. Bones formed a crown around her head. Her eyes glowed like fire. She hovered above the grave, voice like thunder wrapped in tears. You gave me no peace. Why should I give you any? Someone screamed. A man dropped his torch and ran. Another fainted. You buried me with lies, she roared. You called me a curse. You buried a healer. You shouted me into silence. Her voice made trees bend. Pastor Jide stepped back. His Bible fell from his hand. What are you? He asked. She looked at him, eyes burning. I am what your fear created. Uduak stepped forward, alone. Smoke touched her feet. She didn't stop. She knelt by the grave. No shouting, no drama, just a soft voice. God, forgive the sins of silence. Let truth bury the past. The ground stopped shaking. The wind died. Even Amaka paused. Then the girl walked through the smoke. She touched Amaka's hand. Their fingers met. A swirl of wind and ashes swallowed them. A flash of light exploded. Then darkness, total stillness. When the air cleared, the grave was closed. No more smoke, no more fire. They were gone. The next morning, villagers searched the forest. The mirror tied to the tree? Gone. The girl? Gone. Just soft air and peace. For the first time in years, morning came like a blessing. From the trees, from behind doors, from empty compounds, the missing ones returned. Where have we been? One man asked, rubbing his eyes. Was it a dream? A woman whispered, holding her child. The village stood still. Then Elder Akpan opened his eyes. He sat up slowly, his breath calm like river wind. Now he said, "We can build again." The elders dropped to their knees. Some wept, others laughed. Pastor Jide walked out of the church. He left the door open. "No more shouting," he said. "God already hears." The drums stayed silent. No fanfare, no dancing, just quiet. Later, he knelt under the old Iroko tree. No microphone, no ushers, just him and a tear-stained Bible. Uduak stood before the youth. "Fear is not faith," she said. "Pray to understand, not just to escape." Even the elders nodded. She drew symbols in the sand. "These are warnings, not weapons," she told the children. They watched, they listened, they repeated every word. Ia Comfort stood before the people. She leaned on her walking stick, hands shaking. "I lied," she said. "I feared her gift. I helped bury the truth." Nobody threw stones. Instead, they gathered by the field. Men, women, even children dug a grave. This time, no shouting, no curses, just silence and songs. They placed a stone, Amaka. Child of the wind, woman of healing. Flowers covered the mound, a white cloth lay folded at the head. Ia Comfort wept into Uduak's shoulder. Later, Pastor Jide stood by the church. He looked at the open doors. "This house," he said, "is not just for prayer. It's for truth, for broken hearts, for beginnings." The village changed. Laughter returned to the markets. No one feared the forest anymore. Songs were softer. Smiles came easier. Then one afternoon, a new girl arrived at the village school. She smiled as she walked, carried nothing but a chalk stick. "Hello," she said. Uduak stared. The eyes, the walk, the silence behind her smile. It was her. But now she laughed. She clapped during games. She hummed while writing. Uduak leaned close. "Do you remember the forest?" she asked. The girl grinned wide. "I only remember light." They shouted for years. But it was a whisper that broke the curse. Not the drums, not the clapping, not the loud tongues of fire, just a quiet voice under a tree. True prayer starts where lies end. In the village, they once buried truth beside a girl they called a witch. She healed the sick, but they feared her hands. She saw visions, but they feared her eyes, so they whispered behind her back. Then they shouted at her face, but no one spoke the truth. Silence helped bury the innocent. And silence made the ground cry. They thought fear was faith. They thought loud voices could chase guilt away. They confused noise with power. But the truth? Evil doesn't fear shouting, it fears justice. And justice came, not quickly, not with lightning, but it came. She rose from the soil, not to take revenge, but to speak, to ask, "Why did you silence me?" The wind stood still and the ground listened. Confession opened the door. A girl touched a serpent and found a mother. No scream, no fight, just forgiveness. Where they expected fire, mercy came instead. Mercy is louder than any curse. Now the tree still stands, no shrine, no golden cross, no incense, just branches and breeze and the sound of leaves, and under it people still kneel, not because they fear return, but because they remember. God, help us not bury truth again, they pray. Some say the girl was never real, some say she was an angel, others say she was peace in human form, but just in case, they still pray, and they pray softly now, because not all battles need shouting.